You're watching Business Day TV. I am Nontobeko Kumete, and today we are currently at the Gallagher Convention Centre in Midrand for Gauteng's inaugural Agro-Processing Investment Summit. Day 1 sets the tone on industry growth and trends, and Day 2 continues to bring together industry experts to investigate how to position the province as a leading agro-processing hub in South Africa with a strong focus on innovation, enterprise development and investment opportunities. Can you please just share what really stands out from this year's Agro-Processing Investment Forum, and what are some of the key insights that not only industry experts have shared, but things that entrepreneurs should be looking out for?
What is important in terms of this convention and expo is that I've realized the gap in that a lot of agro-processors or the entrepreneurs, they do not consult science. I'm from a science background and the work that I do is science-based. And this is where now you get us as the scientists developing products, having things in place in terms of how to do testing, etc. But you find that a lot of these processors, they actually do their own innovation, but then they don't consult the scientists to ensure that the products that they make will have consistency in terms of longevity of the products.
A lot of exhibitors today, a lot of experts, a lot of institutions being represented here, and you're hearing a lot of challenges even from the panel in being around market access, supply, this and that. What will it take for Gauteng to really shine and become the leading hub in terms of agro-processing?
So the Department of Small Business Development, they have a model that they call clustering. So clustering is you have those that are working on a certain commodity, clustering together and working as a collective. I mean, how did we get to your GWKs, the cooperatives that we currently have? It was a group of farmers that saw that we have a common interest, let us group ourselves together so that we have masses, and that bulk gives them weight. So in terms of Gauteng, the recommendation would be to cluster the farmers that have similar type of products that they produce or they work with. And in that way, you are able to start streamlining funding. And whenever the funding opportunities, you say that we want those that are in the condiment section, and you check what their challenges is, consult those that are within that space that can assist, and now you have a collective of people that you are able to address their challenges with, instead of having your isolated farmers or producers being assisted in silos. Clustering will actually help, and it can also concentrate the type of help that you can source from those experts that can help those agro-processors.
Joburg Markets is quite popular for linking farmers to buyers, buyers to farmers, but there seems to be a lot of challenges that has been highlighted in today's panel discussion when it comes to market access and fully leveraging on the African Continental Free Trade Agreement. From your perspective, what are some of the highlights or key insights from today's panel?
I think from today we've seen that there is definitely challenges with farmers accessing the market. Fundamentally, there are issues around production costs, there are issues around logistical costs, but also farmers getting the right buyer or consumer for their produce. So what we are leveraging on, or the insights that we got from the panel today, is basically that there is more that we need to do, especially in terms of giving information about market access. There is more that we need to do about obviously dealing with barriers to free trade, especially around the regional conversation that we must have around free trade within the region, around reducing tariffs, but also around having a regional dialogue as SADC, as Africa, to ensure that there is free trade, to ensure that any other farmer in South Africa can still trade within the region, can still trade within any other African country. But there's also a need for government to make funding for farmers to then have capacity building programs, especially around the farming methods, especially around ensuring that there is cold chain storage from a farmer to then a consumer. So as a Joburg market, we are saying we are available to then assist the farmer in terms of ensuring that there is a market access and that their produce are able to be sold to then the consumer.
I think this year's forum stands out more because of the relevance. I think the type of topics and the stakeholders, specifically for agro-processing, and the structure for me is way better than previous ones. And also I think there's shedding light on really the challenges that we as entrepreneurs in the space are facing. And I think for that it makes it way better than the previous ones.
Please share some of the initiatives, platforms available through the ARC that has really supported entrepreneurs like yourself to feel like you can stand a chance.
So I think there's a lot of training. So people who are working in this industry, working for your big manufacturers, have specific qualifications which the ARC is part of making available. And so as an entrepreneur getting into this space, I think that is a good starting point where you really have to know your numbers. You really have to know the content or the engineering, the scientific content of the product that you're working in. And so now you look at going out there. GDAD has a lot of programs. So GDAD will have grants that you can access for equipment. SABS has training. Then CEDA has assistance with marketing. SEDFA has part grant, part loan, purchase order financing. So you take all of those things, you then go to your corporates. Corporates have really good ESD programs, and I think I've learned, and we are a good example of ESD programs that have really gone well, because we would not be in retail if we hadn't been spotted by a food lovers market in their competition, which we didn't even win, but they liked us enough to say, come, let's sit around the table. And the same applies with us for the Checkers and ShopRite, where they've said, we have this, let's see what you do with 5 stores. Now you are over 60 stores. Let's see how you will do at regional level. Unless we get those chances as entrepreneurs, we're not gonna go anywhere. And those come with us just believing in our product, really pushing hard, and also doing the work to make sure, number one, we are compliant, because you will go nowhere if you are not compliant. Number two, you are clear about your value proposition and your numbers and where they will go.
How long and how much will it take for Gauteng to position itself as the leading agro-processing hub in South Africa?
I think it's already the leading hub, right? And I tell you, if you look at volumes, between Gauteng, Joburg and Ekurhuleni, I think that's around about 80% of the country's sales go through here. So we're already a hub. We're already a hub in distributing into the continent, right? We're already a hub as far as agro-processing is concerned. The only thing that I would advise when we talk about agro-processing, we need to be specific what we mean by agro-processing. Agro-processing could involve packing a red, a yellow and a green pepper into a bag. That's agro-processing, right? We're already doing that, right? So that goes all the way up to making jams, right? So I want to say on the bulk breaking side, those volumes are part of an agro-processing process where we add value to the product. What I think we're not doing right, and that needs maybe more planning, is the integration of the agro-processing programs with these market facilities, because that's how you unlock economies of scale. And remember, if you're an agro-processor, if you're on your own, there's a lot of risk around procurement of product. You need working capital, etc. But if you're on the facilities, you've got a shared risk environment where there's product coming there anyway, any day, and you've got the support of the market. And the important link here is that the market facilities are an arm of the municipality. Means there's already an institutional alignment between your support and your success and the institution that's actually running the facility. And that should be exploited more and aligned more.
The current share of intra-African trade is considered to be relatively low. Can you please just share with us why is there such a slow progress, or why is it still considered underdeveloped, if I may say?
I think the challenge that we have with African countries is that they are not homogeneous, right? And that's one of the issues. So we have to get into a situation where we harmonize our standards, for example. And I think one of the reasons why there's a slow change of integration as well, a slow progress in integration, is that there are still some non-tariff restrictions or measures that still need to be negotiated. There's also some tariff issues that also need to be cleared out between the different countries. That's why I think there's a very slow progress in terms of taking advantage of the free trade agreement.
How is the National Agricultural Marketing Council and their strategy aligned not only with this investment forum, but also to tackle and address those challenges with intra-African trade?
Well, I think our mandate is to support farmers, basically. In the area of market access, as you know, that smallholder farmers have challenges in terms of meeting the standards that are required by the market. So what we do is we work in partnership with provincial governments, for example, and some of our sister entities within government to make sure that what the buyers require in terms of standards, in terms of quality and quantity, those standards are met eventually by the farmers. I think that one of the things that came out very clearly in terms of going into the future is that business now has to take place digitally. It's the issue of digitization and sharing of information. I mean, information is as they say, knowledge is power. And I think the sharing of information via digital platforms, but also the digitization of systems, business systems, is an important thing. I think if you don't want to be left behind, you have to digitize.
The convention has highlighted the key role that agro-processing plays within stimulating new opportunities and driving economic growth within the province. It also emphasized how innovation and strong partnerships are key in attracting investments and strengthening the agricultural sector. That's it from me, Nontobeko Gumede. Until next time, goodbye.